This podcast contains strong language and adult situations and may not be suitable for those who are easily offended. Welcome, fuckers. I'm Kay.
And I'm Jay.
And you're listening to the Fuck My Work Life podcast, where the work stories are real, the laughs are large, and most of us can agree, work sucks. So let's clock out and tune in.
Welcome back, fuckers.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, it's Wednesday.
Is it? Yeah.
Yep.
So we have got special guests today. We've got Josh and Amanda from Super Familiar with the Wilsons joining us again. Hi, guys.
Welcome back, guys.
What's up?
Hey, friends.
What's up, you all? Give you the high sign that Jay taught me last time.
He did that? He was probably just drunk. He doesn't remember.
He didn't remember. He didn't remember the high sign. Okay, well,
most likely I was hammered.
He was probably very wasted.
Oh yeah, you were.
Actually, I should just play back the unedited recordings of guest episodes for you, and you'll just be like, "What happened?"
There was so much vagina talk.
Yes, this was part of the vagina
right.
talk.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that now?
That's right.
I got it. It's coming back.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, good.
Gracious.
Oh, good. Excellent.
So you actually reached out to us, Josh, because you had a topic near and dear to your heart that you wanted to talk about. But before we get into that,
Housekeeping.
no, not housekeeping. We're not going to do any of that shit this time. I'm going to read you guys a story. It's a love story.
Oh, yay.
For the ages. All right. This is called A Deep Dive to Remember. For years, Sarah had gazed at him across the cafeteria with the faint idea of asking him out, but it had never seemed scalable until today.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Jared, Sarah began with a quiver in her voice. I just wanted to reach out and see if you had the capacity to connect with me over drinks tonight. Jared did not facilitate a response immediately, and as she waited, Sarah began to wonder whether she'd dropped the ball on this entirely. Should she have added value first with small talk? Probably, but it was too late now. Unfortunately, I can't, Jared finally said. Sarah felt her heart break apart like an animated pie chart in one of her slide decks. I should never have actioned this, she thought. But, Jared pivoted, I have bandwidth to do Thursday.
Oh, no. No bandwidth, Jared. No.
Her heart circled back to a better space. He hadn't rejected her. They had just hit a roadblock. Let me check my calendar, she said, having learned that appearing to be cool in situations like these can be key. Actually, you know what, Jared said? Back to your initial proposal of connecting today, what were you thinking in terms of timelines? 6:30 p.m., she said. With some restructuring, I think I'll be able to give you some FaceTime then, he said. That's a good outcome, Sarah said with a grin. I'll see you EOD.
Oh, God.
Explosive ordnance disposal?
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
That afternoon, her workflow was significantly compromised. Going forward, there was simply no prospect as exciting as touching base with Jared. She spent the rest of the day overwhelmed by a raft of feelings that she could not unpack, which was strange because unpacking issues was usually one of her core strengths.
Is this like code? Like her workflow was significantly.
Oh.
This is like the nerdiest porn that you could ever read.
I love it. As 6:30 p.m. rolled around, she felt sick in the pit of her stomach, like when she looked at a sentence that didn't contain an acronym. I can't believe this is actually about to tee off, she thought to herself. When Jared arrived, his shirt was slightly unbuttoned and his tie was loosened, revealing robust chest hair. A real game changer. Unfortunately, the conversational touch points were not nearly as robust. I guess one of us should go up and order drinks, Sarah said, to break the cycle. Oh, Jared said, fumbling for his wallet. Let me spearhead that. After the first couple margaritas, they began to find some shareable content. And by the third, they found themselves on a deep dive, deeper than either of them had ever dived
Oh.
before during an initial one-on-one.
Yeah.
Midway through the 5th drink, they were holding hands. "You're such a thought leader," Jared whispered in Sarah's ear. The synergy was electric. "We're closing up," the bartender boomed. "Closing up," Jared said, "but it feels like we only just started drilling down."
See,
They laughed and pursued an exit strategy. "Well, this is me, where I do my life admin," Sarah said at her doorstep. "It was great to sync up with you tonight," Jared said. They stood awkwardly for a few moments, unsure of whether this was an LAO, in quotations, lip alignment opportunity. "Okay then, I'd better be off," Jared said reluctantly. "Best," Sarah said. "Best," Jared said.
Oh, God.
He had barely begun executing his walk home when he heard Sarah call out. "Wait," she yelled. "I know this is a bit weird because we just met and all, and I'm just ideating here? How do you say that fucking word? Ideating?
Yeah.
Ideating? But in terms of next steps, do you think there's any chance I could?" She sighed, frustrated by her inability to communicate effectively and efficiently. "Do you think I could onboard you into a relationship?" she asked. Jared lit up. "I think," he said, "that your offer will get a lot of pickup." They hit the ground running towards each other, and there in the moonlight, they aligned passionately on the mouth. The end.
Please tell me you wrote this.
I did not. I wish I did.
I wish you did too.
This was from Evan Williams, and it was from the New Yorker, but I found it when I was Googling corporate jargon, and I thought it was hilarious.
Like, it was so triggering from scaling. Like, it just started, and then it's just so triggering. All of it.
Honestly, when she first started reading it, I thought one of you wrote it. And because you were laughing so much, I thought you wrote it.
No, I'm just laughing because that's my world. All of these words are my
that
world.
better not
Oh, yeah.
entirely be your world.
Oh, well, no, not the narrative.
Who's Jared?
Yes, just the most of the verbs.
So you reached out to us and you wanted to.
I reached out. Yes, I reached out.
You reached out. You touched base, wanting to talk about.
You said, "Can we circle up?"
I was just surprised that I didn't even really have the idea of recording this. I just was curious if you had done an episode about so I could listen to it, because I guess that day I just got particularly full of all of this bullshit jargon, and you hadn't, and so here we are. Because everyone hates this.
Oh,
She
yeah.
had to run it up the
Everyone-
flagpole first and see.
Oh my God. So like pretty early on, when in the 90s, I remember there were certain buzzwords when I was like getting into the workforce and all this. And the first one that I remember that really got my goat that I fucking hated was, "We've got to be authentic."
Mhm.
Well, no shit, you fucking moron. Be authentic. Okay. What is this? What are you saying? So I spent like the 90s trying to figure out what the fuck being authentic meant besides just being yourself.
Right.
And so that was my onboarding into this world of corporate jargon
Mhm.
that I absolutely can't stand. And then the other thing that kind of goes hand in hand with this is around that time, I started to be involved with people who managed me who love to get these business books.
Oh,
You know, that
Mhm.
like every now and again, a new book will come out and everyone's like, "We got to fucking buy this book and it'll solve all of our problems."
Mhm.
And so the one that I first was exposed to was a little book called Who Moved My Cheese?
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Jeez.
Are you familiar with this?
I haven't read it, but I know I dated someone who was way into those books, and that was one of the ones
What?
he was always reading.
It was Jared. It's okay.
Yeah, it was Jared.
So the idea was this fucking business book where the cheese represented your happiness, and they told this little story about these mice and these little people who were looking for cheese. And I'm just like, what the fuck world am I in? What?
Yeah.
How do these people talk? How are they doing? Why are they doing this? Why can't they just talk like people? And so, boom, here we are. We're gonna bitch about it for a little bit, I think.
So besides authentic, are there any recent ones that like really rile you up?
Yeah, I have a whole list, and Amanda actually polled some people at work. One question though: when did PowerPoint become slide deck?
I don't know. I still call it PowerPoint. I don't know.
Well, I use the term slide deck.
I
And
know, and I fucking hate it.
he was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm making a slide deck. And he's like, what are you saying? I'm like, I'm making a PowerPoint presentation.
Right, but apparently slide deck like sounds like you know a little bit more. I'm making a slide deck. No, I'm just making, because kids make PowerPoints for school now. So
Yeah.
the adult business people have to call it something else. Is that what it is?
I don't know. I don't know.
Fucking slide deck. Get out of here with your slide deck.
I got your slide deck right here.
Yeah, slide your deck.
I'll slide
Jared
some
wanted to
deck
slide his
too.
deck.
Yeah, Jared really wanted to slide that deck.
So I have been I am in the middle of like a big corporate event right now, and so I was polling some people. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go home and be on a podcast tonight about corporate jargon. What are you so tired of hearing? And it's really funny because all of the things that people were telling me are all the things we say all the time. And it's so funny to be like, okay, so you really hate that because we say it all the time. So we all just hate it, yet we're still doing it. So some of the ones that I got were, it's a low hanging fruit. Like, right.
Which, by the way, sorry, testicles. It's always going to mean testicles to me. Never not going to mean balls to me. Go ahead.
We were having a conversation about a high level overview, which is just, it's redundant, right? Just give me an overview. Like, that's just what I need. And then one of the ones that I said that and I've used it frequently lately, it's building the plane while flying it.
Oh,
so it's this idea of like, right, that you're just kind of like, you've got a really tight deadline, but you're not quite done yet. So like, you're just kind of having to do things as you go along. And that's a thing that we've used a little bit too much because it just feels like it's happening a lot.
That sounds kind of like, don't shit your drawers while you're putting your pants on.
Something like that, yeah.
That's more like life advice, I think.
Well,
I'm going to use that one. What is it? Don't build. What is it?
No,
don't shit your drawers while you're putting your pants on.
Don't shit your drawers while you're flying the plane that you're building.
Flying the plane while building it.
Okay, I'm going to use that tomorrow because I am in that situation right now.
Look here.
Here's the problem with all this shit. See, it's
you've got grumpy Josh tonight. Sorry,
you hear it for the first time. You're like, oh my God, that's so fucking ingenious. But then now you're going to use it until it's totally dead. And that's the thing with all this shit. You know what I hate?
What?
And this isn't business speak, but this is one of those phrases that people have picked up. And now I fucking can't stand it is, oh, it is what it is.
You've always said you hate that.
What the fuck have you just said to me?
Well, no, I don't mind that. Like, it is what it is. It's like I can't do anything about it. That's just what it is.
Good. Then say I can't do anything about it.
I think
you can tell him
in a business situation, it is what it is not what you need to hear from someone, especially if it's like someone above you, because that's basically like, shut the fuck up. I'm not doing anything about it. You're going to have to deal with it. But in like everyday situations, like someone cuts you off or your wife doesn't make you dinner, you know, it's like, man, it is what it is.
See how he looked at me when he said that?
or the wife doesn't match your socks and your socks.
That's right. I don't do that either. It's just a free for all. You go in there and do what you want.
I don't even touch his socks. I just like shove the pile up because he'll need new socks and he'll go and buy like a 12-pack from Costco, but then not get rid of the old ones. So that
have the holes in them.
His amount of socks and white undershirts is insane. So there's just
insane.
There's just a giant pile of laundry that's just all white t-shirts.
I've got like 40 pounds of laundry right there, and 25
all white
of
t-shirts.
It is white t-shirts and socks.
That sounds pretty amazing to me.
Oh no, you're out of hangers, friend.
Just a giant cube of white t-shirts that I can just yank one off of and throw it on me, and boom, I'm ready to go.
And then like once every 3 weeks, go do laundry.
There you go.
Once every 3 weeks, Amanda does laundry.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, Josh does laundry too. I just happened to have been doing the laundry the other day.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
So I have a friend that she and I send corporate jargon back and forth to each other. She works for a pretty big company. And I was just scrolling back through our text and I got this one that said, and maybe I said this to you guys because I was like back in June and I said, we're recording with friends. Can I use this? And maybe I've already said this to you, but she said, today's jargon, Appleseed. Maybe he will Appleseed some of his best practices. That just sounds dirty.
Yeah.
Wait, what does Appleseed mean?
Like Appleseed, like Johnny Appleseed, how he spread the trees around. So you're going to Appleseed your good ideas.
Oh, wow. You spread your good ideas around?
Yeah.
like
Spread your seed.
bursting out like semen.
Yes, right.
My good idea. My
Interesting.
good idea is like frothy semen onto the ground.
Yeah, so I don't use we don't use I have
I've
not
never
used
heard that.
Appleseed.
I've never heard
I've
that.
never even heard that.
I definitely let me think about so scaling is a thing that we use a lot because we are doing that. I'm trying to think about your story.
Circle back.
circling up, circle
Yeah.
back, circle up,
Touch base.
the whole calendar thing. Like we will be like, can I poke around in your calendar? I was like, go ahead, fine. My calendar's up to date.
Why-
Go poke around in my
Why
calendar.
does it all sound so sexual?
It
though?
does.
The problem is like there's apparently all
Deep
this
dive.
sexual tension in all of these offices.
A deep dive,
Yeah.
right?
Let's just
Okay,
throw
you
it
know-
out there and see if the cat licks it up.
Now we are
Jay's
talking about shit.
Jay's corporate jargon.
No. It's right here.
Really? That's a real one?
I looked up a website that had the 50 most annoying corporate jargon and see if the cat licks it up. Like,
Gross.
No, that's
Oh no.
reinvent
No.
the wheel,
Yeah, that's
run
an
it
old
up the
one.
flagpole, hit
Yeah.
the ground running,
Mhm.
run
These are
the
old ones.
numbers.
Yeah, these are classics.
Yeah.
This is
Classic
back when
jargon.
they used to run numbers.
So I saw one today. We were doing that tonight. We were looking them up when I was at this work function. And I saw one that I had never seen before. And I came home and said it to Josh, who's like, oh, yeah, no, that's really racist and sexist. But like it was on this list. I had never seen it. Open the Kimono. Have you heard this?
I just saw that today. I was
I
looking
was
some
like,
up.
what is this?
Yeah. That's
Okay, use it in context though.
So it's basically like it means like seeing behind the scenes, like knowing how the sausage is made is what you say. But yeah, I mean, it's like just being transparent. That's another
Yeah.
word, transparent about your practices.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just very racist and
It's really bad. I was like,
Racist
this
and
is a thing
sexist
people
and-
actually say? Like, ooh.
Back in the 80s when the men were just drinking their martinis in the office.
1880s when we first went over to Japan,
No,
right?
I don't know.
And
That's
none
probably
of us
where
know
it came
that.
from.
Jay, none of us
Yeah,
know
like,
that date but you.
I question whether you know it.
I think he just pulled a date out of his ass.
Well, that's another one. Pull a date out of my ass.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's Google it.
what the data says.
Because it was after World War or after the Civil War
Mhm.
that we sailed over to Japan and tried to bring our practices to Japan when they were fighting. Have you not seen The Last Samurai?
I actually
Oh
have
my
not.
God.
I have not.
That's facts.
Oh.
Yes, a Tom Cruise movie. Fact.
That is factual history.
One of my all-time favorite corporate jargon, and one of my superiors uses it a lot, is agile.
Oh my God.
We need to be really agile. Like, what the fuck does that even mean?
So I was in a training today, separate from this meeting. Like I just happened to have them coincide, and I was like with 3 other colleagues, and agile was something that came up on the screen, and they put like in the chat, like if I see that word one more time or hear that word one more time, because so it's like this whole agile method, right? But what it really means is just being willing to like reiterate, like you make
Reiterate,
some
there's another one.
No. But you make something, you test it out, you like
Jesus,
you
are
analyze
management,
it.
aren't you?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, agile's the thing.
Do you remember, what was it? In Living Color, where there was the man that used all the big words but incorrectly all the time?
Yes.
I don't remember this, but I never
I remember
in
the
Living
show.
Color,
It was,
but I don't
it was
remember
Damon
that.
Wayans, and he was in prison, and he got a hold of books.
Oh, yeah. He was like
He got a hold of books, and
and-
when he would like interview with the people, he'd be like, and you see the in justification, and he would just like get all the words wrong.
Yeah.
It
And
was-
sometimes talking to one of my superiors reminds me of that. I can have a 30-minute conversation with this person and not anything of substance is said. It's just like a string of corporate jargon. I'm just like, I'm still so confused as to what you need from me.
But I'll be
Please help.
agile in my approach to synthesizing what you communicated to me.
Are there
Maybe
any
we'll circle
SMEs I
back
can
to that
talk to
word.
about
Oh,
this?
girl, I am an SME.
What does SME?
I am an SME.
What the fuck is an SME?
It's a subject matter expert.
Mhm.
So when you're working on something, and be like work with the SMEs, but then I actually used to work with somebody who said smeeze, and I was like, you have to stop. That is like the character from Peter Pan, right? Like Captain Hook's little person is Smee.
So do you self-identify as an SME?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Do you also self-identify as a thought leader?
Not a thought leader.
Because there's another one. These dickheads are going around and they're putting on their LinkedIn, I'm a thought leader. Fuck all the way off. I'm a sleep leader. Or at least I wish I was. Thought leader. That's so pretentious.
You know, it's not on my LinkedIn that I'm an SME. The only reason I identify like that is because we work with people who need to work with the SME. So I'll be like, I'm the SME, or I'm the project lead, and the SME, or whatever.
Yeah, don't put that on anything, because someone will see, yeah, she's into SME, and they're going to think something else.
See, it all comes back to being sexual again.
Yeah, I think this stems from the patriarchy, man.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and then
Jay's out.
Jay's done.
He needs another beer.
Your EOD, right? So I go back and forth between, is it EOD or is it COB?
COB is what I use.
It depends on
close of business. Yeah,
close of business. It depends on I think who you're talking to, because a lot of people use it in a day.
I feel like I hear end of day a lot where I work. I think I might have used that too. Oh no, I'm becoming one of them.
No, I totally use this because this is the language of the country in which I live.
Yeah.
But
I've never used thought leader. I'm usually the opposite. I'm like, I'm real stupid. Can you please explain to me what is actually happening here?
Yeah. Data driven decision making. That's another thing we talk about.
As opposed to just being a dumbass.
just making choices.
As opposed to just saying, let's do that.
Yeah, no,
absolutely.
What is the data saying?
What is the data saying? What is the thing that you sent to me today? Emotions. What was it used?
Oh, right. So I was in a manager's training today. So let me. I sent it to you. Let me look at it.
It's just the kind of bullshit that. Oh God, read it.
Shift our mindset around emotions from good and bad to data. So what is this data telling me? So instead of I feel sad or happy, think about it. Your emotions aren't good or bad. They're just data. They're just data giving, talking to you about.
So we should all just be robots.
Yes. And then also, well, we talk a lot about micromanaging. I sent you a thing about micromanaging, but only because I think you do it.
You think I do what?
Oh, shots fired. Shots fired.
No. It just
go.
When we take on too much to save our team from taking on too much. You're not trying to stress your team out.
No, we're not turning this into actual manager talk. We're not doing fuck that shit. We're not doing. And then there's these little phrases though that are such little microaggressions. I'm just checking in, right? Oh, I'm just checking in with you. Oh, so micromanaging.
Right.
Is that what you're saying? Just checking in?
Also stand-ups. I don't like stand-ups.
Well, we sit down. Do you have stand-ups? Because we sit down during our stand-ups.
They started as stand-ups and now they're town halls.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
town hall
the
meetings.
fancy
What the
town
fuck
halls.
does that mean?
Yeah.
It means it's longer and you get to sit.
But we actually stand in our town halls unless you're already at your desk.
Yeah, it means some idiot read something that they probably shouldn't have and thought they were going to make things better by not changing them at all, but just calling them something different.
It makes it sound like it's a collaborative, let's all talk and work shit out, when it's really just being talked at.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not in my wheelhouse.
You need to be more agile, Josh.
So a lot of these, they can be, I don't know. A lot of these that we're talking about, I don't see them as complete corporate jargon. I can see how they could tie into that, but what about if you use them outside of work?
People think you're a twat.
Maybe it's less triggering. Maybe we just don't like them because it's in this stressful environment. Maybe they're less triggering outside of work. I don't know.
But see, I'm not a big fan of overused phrases even in life. Mm-hmm. It just gets on my nerves because I feel like you say something too much, it totally loses its meaning.
Is that why you never say you love me anymore?
Oh.
No, I'm kidding.
No, but it's just like bandwidth, for example.
I use bandwidth a lot. Capacity.
Oh my God. Bandwidth.
Working at capacity.
Perhaps we can increase the width of your band.
Yes. FTEs.
Yes.
Do you do FTEs?
Yeah. Well, I don't do them. I'm familiar with them.
I've heard
So
of
FTE
them.
is like a full-time employee. And so
okay.
you're a 1.0. So are you like 0.75 FTE on that? Are you like 0.5% FTE on that? We need another FTE. It's like we're not even like humans. Like we don't need another employee. We need another FTE.
I would kick the low-hanging fruit if someone said that shit to me to explain how I work.
Or is that just like, is that referring to your capacity? Like, I can give this much, so I am a 0.75 FTE.
0.7. Yeah. But the way our funding works is like if we're funded on different things. And so it's like, how much FTE are you on this? Because we need to know how much of your salary to pay from this thing and like this over here. But then we have like other duties as assigned, which I think is the most ridiculous thing. So it's like your job description. And then you've got like this little bit of FTE that's like whatever else we say you have to do.
Doesn't every job description though say other duties as assigned? Is this just like the
catch-all,
the hook that they get you?
All right. Where were we?
I can't remember.
I can't either.
We were talking all kinds of corporate jargon.
That's right.
I do remember that there was corporate jargon.
There was another one that I encountered pretty early on in my working career, and that was blank speak. Like, oh, it's just business speak, or it's music speak, or blah 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 speak. Are you familiar with this shit?
Yeah.
Why don't you try English speak, asshole? I hated that so much because that to me is the epitome of making up shit just to sound fancy or
interesting. Yeah.
And I was a young kid when I heard that, and it was like my boss's boss who used that phrase with me. I fell for it. I was like, oh, this is like, hey, this guy knows stuff I don't know.
He's fancy.
He's
It's like the fancy way of saying grown folks are talking.
That's right. That's exactly what it is.
I feel like for this episode, you need to put together a list of Jay's corporate jargon, and we're going to put it out somewhere.
Well, I was going to say that earlier. I would like to go through like this list of like the 50 most annoying corporate jargons and put a complete fucking redneck twist on all of them. Like this one, this is what it actually means.
Yeah.
I would listen to that. And I also want to know what corporation you were running.
Tractor Supply.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was thinking more like porta potty rentals, but
like, the whole let's not go for the low hanging fruit, well, don't kick the balls first.
Not first. Do you guys
don't
ever
kick the balls before you poke the eyes?
That's good advice.
Do you guys ever get bleeding edge?
Yes,
No.
yes, I've heard that. You've not heard
I saw that today. No, we say growing edge, like it's a growing edge, but it's a bleeding edge. Like, wait, are those two different things? A growing edge is like a growing edge would be like something you need to work on.
It says it's innovative or advanced.
So it's better than cutting edge.
Oh, excuse me. It's cut you and now you're bleeding. That
Jesus.
is nonsense.
That is horrible.
That's like pushing the envelope, but
growing edge sounds soft and it sounds, pleasant.
Passive.
Growing edge, very nurturing.
Yeah.
You got a nurturing environment.
There's one that I just recently encountered was the term frictionless. We need to make this frictionless.
Oh.
Have you heard this?
No.
You've not heard this?
No, it sounds stupid.
Make sure. Well, it is. All these fucking things are stupid, but we got to make sure that for the user, this experience is frictionless. I'm like, oh, you want frictionless? You got to pay $5 more.
Yeah.
And then that's when you get frictionless.
Kind of sounds like you're asking me to do this without asking questions. Just do it the way I told you.
Pain points is one that I think that we've been bouncing around a lot. Like, so what are your pain points?
Do you guys have to do gap analysis? What's the gap analysis?
We do gap analysis, and then when we do our
what is gap analysis? Is that what a proctologist does?
We do gap analysis. We do like field gap analysis. So like when you're going into, without really talking about what I do, but when you're going into a certain demographic to serve a certain need in a community or in a school or whatever, you do a gap analysis to like drill down
Oh shit.
on what the need is.
And then you have to do a needs analysis.
Yeah, and a needs
for the
analysis
gap analysis.
Mm-hmm.
That shit's annoying as fuck. We do a gap analysis so we can see where we can do a needs analysis.
Well, I think you do the needs analysis first, and then you do a gap analysis to see like, well, what's missing? Like you need this, but what
gap can we fill?
What gap can we fill?
Them there's some big words.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like you don't know what you're doing. You're just saying big shit to make me feel stupid.
And it used to work.
Well, I mean, and the thing is, like, the intent behind some of these things are really like valid, but it's just you use the term so often that it becomes
So, but why do you feel the need to invent new phrases?
I don't.
What already exists?
I don't.
No. In general, like the corporate world. Why?
Yeah. Do you think that people have these? Because you look at a lot of the corporate jargon, it's like 2-word phrases, 3-word phrases at the most. Do you think it's so they can kind of compress what they're trying to get across? You know, like instead of explaining out, you know, like we need to do an analysis of where we need to be and where we're getting held up and how, you know, so they just compressed it to like a gap analysis, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
You think they're trying to make it easier?
Or
I don't know.
Like,
I think someone somewhere wrote a stupid book and all these words were in there. And then people that wanted to get into management roles started reading these books and it just started to spread and it became a virus.
It's probably that guy that wrote the cheese book.
Yeah, it's probably all in the cheese book.
I mean,
Jay, you have a point with in that example that you used, because it is describing a specific process and it's a shorthand for that.
Yes.
That's legitimate. Now, I don't have enough bandwidth. That's just bullshit.
Yeah. I'm too busy.
Right.
The end.
But maybe also. So here's the thing in the work environment too. It's like you work so hard not to offend that you inherently become passive aggressive. So I do feel like a lot of these phrases are passive aggressive.
Oh,
like that. Like, you know, I don't have enough bandwidth. I don't have time, nor do I want to give the time to do what you want me to do. You know, I'm just checking in with you. I want to make sure you're doing your shit, but I don't want to offend you. You know, let's table this. I don't want to talk about your shit right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that probably comes into it a lot too, but also like I'm trying to think of one off of like a corporate jargon, because I know like when you get into the corporate world and you start talking to people, especially people like above you, and you ask them questions, it's very hard for people to say, I don't know. You know, it's hard for them to say, I don't know, because they don't want to sound stupid. So they come up with, you know, different ways of communicating that, you know, are could possibly be communicated better by just saying, I don't know. Now, some places you work, every fucking question you ask is, I don't know. You know, and that's where it can like go a little too far. Like, what how'd you get where you are if you don't know literally anything?
Somebody needs to know.
Someone somewhere.
I don't know.
I will say that the place I work now, they're very comfortable in saying things like that. Like I do work with a group of people who aren't afraid to say, I don't know, but we can find out for you.
Yeah.
And that is refreshing, because that is not a thing that you find.
Yeah.
That's not a thing that you find. You find a bunch of you know, word salad that no one understands.
Yeah.
So the person who's asking the question feels dumb because they're like, wait, it sounded like they just answered my question, but I don't know what the fuck they said. And then the person who is answering the question is like, oh shit, I really dodged a bullet there, didn't I?
Yeah. I've come out at I've scheduled meetings if I've got, you know, thrown into a project where no direction on what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I'll poke around the calendar and put some time on the calendar to have a one-on-one touch base to figure out what my role is. And I come out of those even more confused. Mm-hmm. It'll explain to me, okay, so what is my role here? Well, big picture, we have to think holistically about the agile approach, and it's just a string of corporate jargon, and I'm just what? Just tell me what I need to do. Like, so confused. And I do think you're right. I think a lot of times people throw those words in because they think they don't know either, and they're just like, they can't just say, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
And I mean, I think a lot of places it has become so easy for the breakdown of communication to be, they can dance around, just saying like, we'll look into it. I don't know, because they're afraid, like, I'm here, you're here. And if I don't know this answer, you'll look at me as less of a manager. What's a corporate jargon for letting, I don't know. Just to clue you in, I already thought you were less of a manager before I asked the questions. I think that a lot of this BS corporate jargon is just a lack of communication on people's, like, they don't know how to communicate. So they have to say, some key phrase that is kind of off-putting, and that's why a lot of people are put off by corporate jargon.
Well, it really creates a bottleneck.
I need a beer.
I find myself not using a lot of it, but some of the things and all of the acronyms. There's so many acronyms, and they'll just throw them around. I'm like, can someone please tell me what this is? I didn't know what SME was for a long time, and I finally asked someone. One that we use a lot, which so for point of contact, we use POC, and then it just looks real weird because it's also a person of color, and you're just like, can we maybe think of a different?
Yes, it's awkward if you say, what's your company's POC? Wait, what?
I know.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Huh?
I mean, corporate jargon is really annoying, but I think that actually acronyms are worse, much worse, because coming from the education field, going from like role to role, the acronyms are so different, and it's really alienating because you go into a room and people are using acronyms that you don't know, and you feel really out of the conversation. You feel really dumb. You don't want to ask. And then when we start like using them with parents, like parents don't have any idea. And so we create, I mean, when I first then transitioned, from a classroom into like more corporate education, I was like, we need an acronym list, because it took me years to figure out what some of this stuff was. And so we just keep a running list. And when we onboard new people, we'd be like, here's your acronym list. But I was in a training once. I was doing some writing on family engagement, and I thought this was a brilliant idea. And they were talking about, here's another one of my really favorite ones. I love the concept of this, but like it gets so overused, but like inviting everyone to the table, or like who's going to, who you're bringing to the table, or who's at the table. But really it was about involving families in their child's education, but how the way we speak can really be a barrier to including them. And so they created something called an acronock. And whenever they were in a meeting, like with each other, and somebody would use an acronym they didn't know, somebody would just knock, and it would like cause the person to stop and say, "Oh, I'm sorry." And SME means subject matter expert, but it's just like their way of like training themselves to not like to use that. And I kind of liked it.
Yeah,
acronock sounds so fucking ridiculous.
No.
I used to watch that.
Oh,
show
is that
with my
more
kids,
corporate jargon?
Yeah. I'm just gonna start doing that at work, and they're gonna be like, "Why do they keep knocking on the
Why are you knocking? Stop knocking!"
Yeah, it gets real. It just gets laughable at a point where you're just like, "Can you just use real words, please? Can you just talk to me like a human being?"
It does feel like double speak, which is what I think Jay was saying, but like just talk in a circle because you don't really have the answer or necessarily the content.
Yeah.
Well, and again, if you're in it's assuming a lot in communication, and you shouldn't assume when you're communicating. It's assuming that everyone has exactly the same context, and we don't all, we don't all know. So it feels very exclusive, very excluding, and for that's why I think it's off-putting. And again, you keep using the same word, you start to be like the dude in that movie, that little short dude and the real big dude with the guy with the sword.
What are you talking about? David and Goliath?
Lord of the Rings.
No,
No.
Princess Bride.
Twins.
The guy goes.
Oh, I don't think that means what you think it means.
Inconceivable. That word.
Inconceivable.
Yeah, Princess
I
Bride.
don't think it means what you think it means.
Yes. Yes, like a high level overview.
Mhm.
Fuck that.
So here's one that I see a lot when I ask questions. And this is not corporate jargon. This is just a straight up 2-word phrase to say shut the fuck up. Business needs.
Oh, that's not one that I come up against.
No?
No.
So I will ask questions like, and a lot of the problems I have with where we work now is communication. Like they like to keep things secret. And things that are inconsequential. It doesn't matter if people know or if people don't know. And I'll ask questions like, if you guys would communicate to us that this is what's happening, it would give us a clearer view of what our day is going to look like, what our week is going to look like. And I'll get the answer of like, well, we really let people know about what's happening on a business needs kind of.
Oh, kind of like a need to know
like
basis.
a need to know
Yeah.
basis. And it's like, do you not understand that the more everyone in the company is communicated to and understands what's happening, the easier the flow is?
Well, that's why we have town halls.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
Which apparently when we have town halls, the only answer you ever get is,
I don't know.
I don't know. Like,
but here's the thing, and I'm sure we all. I mean, you're describing a person like this. I'm sure we all know a person like this who feels like information. I mean, that's what makes you most valuable.
yes.
If you hoard the
Yes.
information, you keep your value.
It's ego.
Yes, but then you create a bottleneck.
Right.
And I'm jokingly
Yes.
using that, but it's
It's
true.
true.
But
though.
but that also makes you a very important person,
Yes.
doesn't it?
Until everybody like mutinies because we're like, we can't get anything done because you keep hoarding all the information.
Yeah, but see, you never hire. You never fire the bottleneck person. You fire the people under them.
Of course.
Yes.
Don't you know how it works?
Well, because the person bottlenecking is the person who does the firing.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Typically, because once they get that control, the ego, once their ego is fed, they're going to do everything they can to keep that ego fed. That's what I've said for quite a while now.
Yeah.
Is like there is such a power struggle in
always.
places,
Yeah.
and it all comes down to ego. Like people have their ego and they need that ego fed, and they don't realize that like their ego fed does the opposite of for the company.
Yeah.
Just because your ego is fed and you feel like you're accomplishing something, you're actually holding the company back.
Yeah. I'm just going to title this episode Bitch Fest.
Yeah. And then, okay, let's get into
Bitch Fest
no, I'm kidding.
2022.
No, I could keep going.
Yeah. You're a little riled up.
I'm not riled up. This is 15 years.
Yeah.
15 years of.
And it's all coming out now. Give it to me, baby. Let's analyze your
It comes out every happy hour. It
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
out every poker game.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of one of the reasons we started this podcast, because we would get home and we'd start drinking and we would just bitch at each other the same thing over and over
Yeah.
and over again. Like, let's start listening to other people's stories about work.
But you're new for us to bitch to. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. No.
They haven't heard it.
Well, I mean, I do want to give us a bit of a congratulation here, because we've gone however long we've gone and we haven't talked at all about shit.
No, there was some in the beginning of the episode
Was there?
about
Oh,
not
yeah,
doing
yeah.
it while you're putting your pants on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Don't shit
Don't
your pants.
shit.
Oh yeah, that's such a long time ago. I don't remember that.
Don't shit while you're pulling your pants up or whatever it
Yeah.
was.
Like, don't get ahead of yourself.
That's right.
You know, don't pull your pecker out before you pull down your zipper. Or
I really can't wait.
don't
for
pull
that
your
episode.
zipper up and before you put your pecker back in your pants.
That's also a really good.
No,
really
I
good-
prefer don't pull your pecker out until your zipper's down. I like that one better.
I think you need to write a coffee table book. Redneck corporate speak.
Yep,
Dude, this is an amazing line of t-shirts, and they would be sleeveless, of course.
that's right.
Like
Hell yeah.
cut all the way down
And-
to almost the bottom.
Every book comes with a mullet wig.
Yeah.
Excellent.
The mullets are back, baby. Did you know that?
Yeah,
Wow.
I did. And Jesus
I
Christ.
don't know why.
Like,
I don't know why.
I had a mullet.
Did you?
I did. I had a mullet for a hot 2 seconds in the 90s.
Was it curly?
Oh, very curly. Yes,
Oh,
it was good. It
wow.
was grand. Yeah, it was good.
I had a ducktail. Do you remember
Oh,
those?
man.
Oh,
Where
yes.
it was just-
Did you have,
Was it ducktail, not a rat tail?
did you have a rat tail as well?
What's the difference? Is there a difference?
Rat tails are longer.
Ah,
Ducktails
okay.
are shorter. Ducktails are like just the little one.
I had a rat tail.
Did you
Oh,
braid
it
it?
No. I was 9
Oh,
10. And then-
little redneck
and
boy
then
running
moved
around.
out here, and my mom was like, "No, look, snip." Like,
You wanted to be Billy Ray Cyrus when you grew up.
oh, this shit was like it was
like
like a pig dick.
tail?
So,
Like a pig's tail?
so for the listeners, he pointed to halfway down his back and then made a curly.
Yeah, it was like in between my shoulder blades. It was a couple in,
Wow.
like 4 to 6 inches long.
But were you spiked on the top? Because that was also a thing that happened like in the late 80s, early 90s was like spiky.
I was like totally clean cut, like parted,
oh.
good boy, but just had the rat tail.
So kind of like a mullet. Business in
there's
front,
still
party in the
business
back.
front and party in
The
the
9-year-old version of
Yeah.
the mullet.
business in front and pig dick in back.
But I had like the sides were faded up, and it was like
Mm.
honestly,
I cannot imagine what that was like.
I'm
then.
talking out my ass because I don't fucking remember. This was
Long time ago.
more
30
years
something
than I
years
can
ago.
even count.
Yeah.
I can't count that. Hold on, 1, 2, 3. Hold on.
How many toes do you have? Right.
I can't count that high.
All 3 of my toes.
Any other ones that like totally trigger you?
No, that's my list right there.
All right.
Hold on. I want to go through.
Let's not go through all 50, please.
I feel like there are more that I pulled people on today, but now I don't remember.
Have you heard Boil the Ocean?
No.
I saw that. So I think you're reading the list that I saw earlier, and I was like, I had never seen that. So you can't boil the ocean, right?
It's clear you can't actually boil the ocean.
No
so
shit.
why even use this phrase? Clearly, it's important to not bite off more than you can chew
Yeah.
and look for a needle in a haystack. But at the end of the day, what you're trying to say is, let's be realistic with our goals.
Okay.
Also, what I have heard is eating the elephant one bite at a time.
Well, no, but that means that you can do it.
Right. But it's also like, it seems overwhelming because you've got
Mm.
like to start it, but then it,
So
you
you're
eat the
saying
elephant
that
one bite
you
at a
can
time.
boil the ocean 1 cup at a time.
No, right. 1 cup at a time. That's right.
Yeah. Par for the course. I feel like that's an old.
Par for the course.
There's a lot of sports ones.
I've
Yeah.
never heard this one. Call in the SWAT team.
No.
Is that like bringing in the big guns?
At no point
Well,
in your
it's like, do we
job
need to
is
elevate
this
this?
sentence truly needed unless you're part of an actual SWAT team.
Yeah.
Simply prioritize a task by getting all hands on deck to complete it without needing reinforcements.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like all hands on deck.
Have you heard of a tiger team?
What?
We got to put together a tiger team.
No. That
Is
sounds.
is that a team of like go-getters?
That's a team of
tier.
people to address a specific task from a bunch of different departments.
Oh,
Put together
okay.
a tiger team. Don't know where the hell it comes from.
Get that tiger team.
Well, we have subcommittees that circle up offline to do that. Like we can be in a meeting and somebody will be like, what about this? And we're like, would you like to lead that subcommittee? You can connect offline.
That's another one. Let's connect on this offline.
Mhm.
There was something I read on one of the things I was looking up where a guy was just like, I was face to face with a person having a conversation, and he said, let's talk about this offline. And he's like, we're not online. We're like,
Dude, we are offline, like actively offline right now. This is
We're
me
all in
your
the
face.
same room.
Right.
That's maybe we should start a new corporate jargon where it's like, I'd swipe right on that.
Oh, Jesus.
That one I like. Yeah. Swipe left.
Yeah. Somebody's talking and you don't like they're saying left, swipe left, swipe left.
That's exceptional.
I'm going to try that because I have a meeting tomorrow. I'm going to try that one. Yeah, let's
I'd swipe right on that.
Let's swipe right on that idea. Okay.
And you say it, Kay, you say it in your voice. It just sounds so like this is, I'm being agile about this, but also I'm going to swipe right.
Trying to
very
think of this holistically.
What if people like go really crazy and they just use overtly sexual terms as business speak?
I mean, I think it's kind of happening.
Yeah.
No. Overtly sexual.
Oh,
terms.
Overtly, yes. Okay,
I'm just going to fist this idea.
Oh my God.
I like that idea. I'd stick it in without spitting on it.
This is hurting my ear.
I'd ram that in there without spitting on it.
Oh my God, Kay, I cannot believe that's so good.
Here, no, you got to talk into the microphone.
Oh, no, now we can't because I've made you do this wrong. It hurts my ear. I don't like it on that side.
No, I don't want you to gag on this for too long.
Oh my God.
But
That's right. That's excellent.
I was in a training. I mean, it kind of happened. I was in a training today.
What
what
I was in a
happened?
training. I was in a training today.
with Jared?
No. I texted you about this, and
You absolutely did not.
it was on emotional intelligence for managers, and it was basically talking about empathy. But the quote was, and there was on the slide deck was the quote. And I can't remember what the beginning of it said, but something like, it's basically like you don't really understand someone until you like put yourself in their shoes. But it was like, you can't really understand someone until you feel them from the inside. You feel them inside you.
Until you feel them inside
Until
you.
you feel
That
them
was the
inside
quote
you.
in
Yeah.
this.
Wow.
It was like, and then like she had put the name of the person who said it. Like it was a leadership person. I was like, and my immediate response was, that's dirty.
Yeah.
Like I said it out loud.
Was it Jeffrey
people around me
Epstein?
just like,
Yeah, that's right. It was Harvey Weinstein or Jeffrey Epstein, one of the two.
I mean, you think you would kind of second, even if it was a business person that said it, maybe think twice before
was
putting
an
that
HR
quote
person.
on your.
well, the training was an HR training, but like the quote was from somebody else. And it definitely, like those of us around, like in the training together were like, that does not sound right. It wasn't just that I was being like a 12-year-old about it. Like it really was like, and
Maybe it was a test.
That's right.
So my phone has a mind of its own, like everyone's with the autocorrect. And I guess I thought someone got a hold of my phone and programmed it in. I guess like when I'm typing fast, if I hit like the space bar too quick, it puts BBC. And, I would just leave it in when I would text people. I didn't care. Like I didn't know what it fucking meant.
The context.
I didn't know what it meant.
BBC in.
Yeah. And so I would text people, and our friend, he was the one who was like, you know what that means, right? And I was like, no fucking idea. And he goes, big black cock.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh. Well, I've messaged
British
everyone.
Company.
Like
That's right.
I've
That is the
messaged
BBC.
everyone I've ever messaged.
They're just like, wow.
And this shit just
Jay.
pops up. And sometimes if it's a long message, it'll pop up twice. It's like, so I was going to the store, big black cock, and and so now I
that's a
erase
real
it.
BBC.
I feel like on that note,
Yeah.
you guys want to tell everyone where they can find you?
Oh man.
Maybe they should.
We do a little podcast called Super Familiar with the Wilsons, and it theoretically comes out every Monday, Sunday, depending on when I press go. And you find it where you find all of your fine podcasts, on all of the podcast places and spaces.
That's right. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you for bringing this topic thank you for bringing it to the
You're
table.
Yes.
I'm going to be really interested to hear other people's them bringing their own as well. So hopefully folks will follow up and send more in that we've never heard of.
Yeah, and eventually we'll circle back to this.
Yeah.
Also, you're going to be much more aware of it now. Like, at least for the next few days, like every time somebody says it, it's just going to little.
Yeah, I'm going to try to avoid meetings for a couple of days.
There you go. Good luck with that. Let me know how that
start
goes.
We're going
twitching.
on vacation next week, so.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Everyone go listen to Super Familiar with the Wilsons. Yeah, do the whatever that is.
Okay, I look forward to your coffee table book. Although I kind of feel like it should be a bathroom book.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably going to be a bathroom.
Or maybe you should just have each phrase printed on a square of toilet paper.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or coasters.
No,
Be
I
like a
like toilet
coaster
paper.
set.
Coasters in the bathroom?
Well, for the coffee table, not coasters in the bathroom. The book goes in the bathroom.
Okay.
The coasters go on the coffee table. Okay,
The
guys.
coasters go out on the deck.
That's right.
On the deck. Next to the above ground pool.
That's right.
Yep.
Right next to the BBC.
Okay. All right.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
guys. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Fuck My Work Life podcast. If you enjoy the show, please consider leaving us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast platform. You can support the show by telling your friends or joining our Patreon. We also have some sweet Fuck My Work Life merch available over at Teespring. All links can be found in the show notes. Send your workplace stories to fmwlpod@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at 310-818-3273. Be sure to follow us on all the socials at FMWLpod. And remember to support indie podcasts. They work hard to bring you a variety of amazing content. Until next week, bye, fuckers.
They're recording now. You're fucking everything. You're fucked the whole thing up, Walter. Now I'm just going to be quoting The Big Lebowski all night.
I don't know about you, but with a busy work schedule, I never have time to sit down and read. Luckily, there's Newsly. Newsly is an all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android. It picks up articles about the most trending topics on the web and reads them to you in a natural human voice. For the first time ever, the entire web becomes listenable, all in one place. You can browse articles from topics you choose and just start playing. Follow specific topics from sports, tech, business, science, or Bitcoin. Newsly will find you the latest articles and read them aloud. They even have digital radio. And do you want to know the best part? They have podcasts. Explore trending podcasts from over 80 countries. And you can find our podcast, Fuck My Work Life, there too. Download and try Newsly for free by visiting www.newsly.me or clicking on the link in our show notes. And be sure to use promo code FWL for a 1-month free premium subscription. Stop scrolling and start listening with Newsly.